Welcome back to Table Talk. I'm Brian Kell. Special edition of Table Talk, because we're using the entire show to be able to talk with Senator Paul Bailey of the 15th District. Senator, thank you again for spending time with us here today. This last segment, thought we would talk about what are the things that you feel that we're facing coming up in this next session that starts in January that are important to this area, important to constituents out there. Would you please address those issues?
Sure. I think one of the things that the General Assembly definitely wants to continue over this next year is our pro-growth mode of industry and recruiting industry. The state has done a very good job over the past several years bringing in new industry. Just in White County alone, we had a huge job announcement a couple of weeks ago with a German company that's going to invest over $64 million. We've had some other manufacturers actually announce that they're going to do some expansions, not only in White County, but throughout the 15th Senate District. Bledsoe County just a couple of months ago got an announcement of 1,000 job company coming into their area. So we've seen a lot of positive growth. I think that the General Assembly wants to keep that growth going. And one of the ways that we've done that is by bringing about tort reform, bringing about work comp reform, and allowing businesses, getting government out of the way, cutting regulations, and allowing businesses to be able to do what they do best, and that's expand, hire more Tennesseans, and keep people moving forward.
I can't imagine any two better events to go to than the one in White County and the one in Bledsoe over the past couple to a few months. That was fantastic news.
Oh, absolutely, and hundreds of people turned out for both job announcements. I'm going to be honest with you, I never dreamed that Bledsoe County would be able to land a company that will ultimately hire 1,000 people, but it's absolutely wonderful. That area needs it. It's certainly one of our distressed counties in the state, and so that was a huge boost. They had a wonderful facility that had been sitting empty for quite some time, so for them to be able to bring that facility back up, use it, retool it, and move forward. White County has also seen and experienced some major growth, as well as several of the other counties in the 15th Senate District. So I think we continue our pro-growth mode. A piece of legislation that I'm planning on working with the administration on and through the Transportation Committee is truck parking, big truck parking. Right. Most people may or may not know that 60% of the nation's east-west truck traffic, big truck traffic, passes through Tennessee on Interstate I-40.
60%.
60%. Wow. And December 18th, there's a new federal regulation fully implemented. It's in regards to electronic logging devices, ELDs. And so that's basically forcing truckers to have to take their breaks, and when doing so, they have to find an area to be able to park. And unfortunately, Tennessee over the past several years has turned a lot of their parking areas into salt storage areas. And so we're going to have to go back as a state and revisit how we address this truck parking issue. Many of the truck drivers are having to park alongside the interstate exit ramps, on-ramps, which creates a safety hazard, but at the same time, those drivers are being forced to have to take their breaks. So we want to address that issue as we move forward this coming year. Ag enhancement, there's no more special place in my heart than the agriculture community.
Farmer, right, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I want to see us continue to improve our ag enhancement program. Listen, I was shocked last night. I ran into a farmer that basically raises beef and takes them to a processor to have them slaughtered, and then sells the meat to various people, his neighbors and so forth. He's telling me that his slaughterhouse is into May of next year, May of 2018, before they're going to be able to even bring that beef in and process it. So we've got to work with ag enhancement to see if we can't move some of those dollars over to help some of our processing facilities either expand, open new ones, or whatever we need to do to try to help in that regard. So we want to make sure that we take care of our farmers and keep those folks helping our Tennessee economy as well.
Yeah. You've touched on so much here as far as on the pro-growth side, on the job side, from truck parking and ag enhancement, both things that are very near and dear to your heart. From a what other items might we expect to rear their head again, I guess, next year as well, that could come back around?
Well, I think we're going to have to deal or try to deal with this opioid situation in Tennessee. It's not just a Tennessee issue, it's a nationwide issue. Now, the General Assembly over the past couple of years has really tried to bring about some tough regulations to those healthcare providers that are issuing opioids and prescribing opioids. And basically, we're trying to put a stop to that as much as we can. But one thing that we found is drug cartels are now coming into our area, and they're basically bringing in heroin to try to help replace where we have brought about regulations to stop opioids. So the drug issue and the opioid issue across the state of Tennessee is going to be huge this year as we move through the legislative process, trying to figure out a way to put the brakes and keep these drugs out of the hands of those that want to abuse them.
You spoke about being a rural representative, Senator. Talk about the strains sometimes between city and rural. I'm sure that we hear about these, you know, throughout the state, throughout the country, and I dare say Nashville is no different sometimes at the pulling that can go on between both those entities, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. You know, rural legislators, we have common sense. And so, not to say that my colleagues that are from the city don't have, but most of us rural legislators grew up on the farm, so we definitely have common sense. But all jokes aside, it is a challenge because urban legislators, they do not always understand the challenges that we face in the rural areas, especially with back to farmers. I mean, many times there's regulations that sound like they're good regulations that may be good for an urban area, but yet it's detrimental to the farmer. And we have to make sure that we can bridge that gap between the urban legislator and the rural legislator, making sure that any kind of rules and regulations that we allow to be passed do not penalize people that live in the rural areas.
Talk about too, but another pull being that can happen from time to time would be, from a situation of less versus more taxes, the fiscal responsibility of things. Talk about just in your mind where Tennessee is at now today and where they need to go.
Well, obviously, we passed one of the largest tax cuts in Tennessee history just this past April, whenever we passed the Improve Act. It was the largest tax cut, again, in Tennessee history, but also it rebalanced our road building fund so that we can continue to grow our infrastructure, make sure that we provide good roads and bridges, not only on the state level, but on our local level. And I think that you've seen this legislature and General Assembly over the past several years. We have continued to cut taxes. We've put the hall income tax on a phase-out period. We've cut the tax on groceries. We've also started lowering the F&E tax on businesses. So we have seen this General Assembly be proactive in trying to make sure that we continue to cut taxes to keep Tennessee moving forward.
You know, when we were growing up, as far as the stories of the Bermuda Triangle and being fascinated with that being a bad thing, but I think Tennessee's found themselves or your area's found themselves in a job growth area, being this triangle between Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. And you talked about how special, you know, your area is, but being able to look at the opportunities that seem to be abounding, from automotive to just so many different industries that maybe we can't even predict who's looking into these. Tennessee in that corridor, it's becoming just fascinating as to how it's changing and where we could go from here.
Exactly. And that's the great thing about living in this area, is that we have so many opportunities, and we are in the Triangle. We've become the Detroit of the South. We're now making more cars in this area than any other location in basically the United States. We've got a great workforce. We have to continue to make sure that our children that are graduating high school, that they have an opportunity to go to college or go to a university to maintain the skills that many manufacturers are looking for whenever they want to move to an area. One way that we can increase our wages for our people in the state of Tennessee is by being able to provide a well-educated workforce. And when we provide that well-educated workforce, then those higher paying jobs will come to this area.
We've got about a minute left here. Time flies when we're talking about so much here and having fun. Any final thoughts on as we move into, we're recording this in late October, but as we're fixing to move into 2018, a new year, a new session, any final thoughts for the folks out in that are listening and watching this today?
Well, I definitely want people to be able to reach out to me. I try to be very accessible. I want them to feel free to contact me or my office at any time if they have any issue in regards to state government. Look, we're a liaison a lot of times between, with federal issues. Many times people will call and they've got a veterans issue, which is a federal issue. My office is more than happy to reach out to our U.S. senators or our congressmen and ask them to assist. So anytime someone has a need, I invite them to contact me or my office, and we'll definitely work to try to rectify any situations that you may have.
Jump on your Ben Lomond Fiber broadband internet connection. You can go to the Tennessee General Assembly website. Senator Bailey's got a page with lots of information there, and that phone number, 615-741-3978. One more time, 615-741-3978. Amy or one of the great staff over there will be glad to help you and be able to get word to Senator Bailey. And we've already mentioned too, Facebook, Twitter, so many different ways to be able to get in touch with you and kind of follow the things that you're passionate about and that you're trying to get information out to our folks.
Sure, I would love for you to reach out and become a follower on Facebook. And also on Twitter.
Absolutely. Senator Bailey, thank you so much for being with us today.
You bet. I'm glad to be here.
Appreciate Senator Bailey and his staff for working this out with us today here on Table Talk, and we'll look to join you for another talk at this table someday soon.